Imagine a different kind of neighbourhood. Imagine a different kind of community. Imagine a street where every house is self-built.
Well, you don't have to imagine it any longer. It's happening here at Graven Hill in Oxfordshire.
It's an epic construction tale that's been 5 years in the making.
Cherwell District Council came up with this scheme, for which they simplified planning regulations and sold oven-ready plots to the general public.
This country needs to build houses, and if we, as a small Cherwell District Council, can do it, why can't other councils up and down the country do it?
We've been following the first self-built pioneers here.
Oh, no! So who's that out there?
It's my mum and dad.
Is it?
Yeah.
This time, a couple of downsizers opt for a hassle-free modular approach built in a factory.
This is your house?
This is our house.
It's great, we're on the road.
Only to be hit by a major financial setback.
I don't want to go into finances. This is very personal stuff, yeah.
I just want to burst into tears.
And as this remarkable street nears completion...
Nice doorbell.
Hello? Just how successful has this experiment been?
There were times when I thought I was just not going to be able to finish it.
In hindsight, it seems like it was all plain sailing, but it wasn't.
It's been 3 years of our lives, but I'm so glad we've done it.
Two people who think self-building at Graven Hill is the answer to how they want to live are Pauline and Godfrey. For the last 18 years, they've lived in a family home here in Southampton.
When my parents first said that they were going to downsize, we were looking at houses, and my parents are so individual that nothing really seemed right, and I was just kind of like, oh yeah, whatever, yeah, moving, sure, whatever. But then they suggested self-building, and I was like, oh.
Godfrey's a writer and theatre director, and Pauline's a former journalist.
Even though we've loved it here, we need to downsize. It's a big 4-bedroom house. Our daughter has moved on. We need less space.
There's 4 floors in this house, and you don't need 4 floors when you're getting old.
We have energy now, but we still have to think about the future. And a home that will allow us to entertain, have friends and family over, and be adaptable. And I feel that the modular system that's completed within a factory really suits us.
Modular off-site construction is probably one of the most risk-free ways to self-build. In this factory in Sussex, there's also a showroom where customers decide everything way ahead of construction.
Flooring, tiles for the bathroom, paint colours. So you've got more control over your building process, which is great. Some people like to roll their sleeves up and get their hands in there and get a little bit dirty. Okay, that might be for some, but it's not for us.
In the factory, 3 welded steel boxes will form the structure. This frame gets insulated, boarded out and finished right down to the electrics, wallpaper and even the tiles in the bathroom. These modules are then transported to site, craned into position and then bolted together to make a home that's ready to live in just a matter of days. There'll be 2 bedrooms, one with a walk-through wardrobe and ensuite. This may be a single-storey dwelling, but the ceilings have been cleverly raised to give plenty of light and a sense of space in what will be a flexible, open-plan home. All in, for the land and the construction of their home, they have a remarkably modest budget of just £220,000.
So is this yours, this one?
Well, ours is going to be very much like this.
What made you go for this system?
Peace of mind, basically, if you can get that at all when you're building your own home. We know how much it's going to cost. That's not going to vary. All the internal details we've been going through with the stylist.
The stylist?
Yes.
Forgive me for asking this, but at your time of life, it's harder for my time of life to get a mortgage than it is if we were younger. So how are you financing this?
Of course, there's money from the sale of our house, which we have, so that's going to be plowed into this. And the remainder of it, we'll take a mortgage if we have to.
Modular's quick. Once their home hits this production line, it could be completed and delivered to site in under 2 months.
Standing here now, I feel a little bit as though I'm ready to be transported in a freight aircraft. Do you know what I mean? It does feel a little bit like a cage.
But you have to let your imagination fly.
Now, I know intuitively none of us really would like to live inside a steel cage, yeah? But actually, when this building is complete, insulated, clad and finished, I suspect it's going to be imperceptible. And so it sort of begs the question, doesn't it? Would you rather build your house outside in the pouring rain where it can get soaking wet and the entire structure gets covered in mud in the process, or in a factory where it's dry? Do you see, look, I could do this here. If I were on site in Graven Hill, I'd be adding another layer. Here I can just potter off for a cup of tea in my posh shoes.
Pauline and Godfrey's new house will be a third of the size of their current home. For this move to work, they know they need to let go of many belongings accumulated over a lifetime.
I thought I was through all the emotional side of things, but you go through old schoolwork from Ella, you just see her coming home, you know, aged about 5 and saying, Mom, this is what I did today, you know. It's very difficult to say I'm going to put that in the bin. Yeah.
For Pauline and Godfrey, downsizing is proving harder than they'd imagined. In Almere, in the Netherlands, where they've been pioneering self-built for decades, there's an entire district of smaller houses, many of which are home to downsizers. One of whom is Jan Schrout.
Hello, yeah, Kevin.
How are you?
This is a beautiful building.
Yes, and it's very small.
Well, it doesn't feel small.
No.
It feels light and airy, and I guess you have everything you need?
Yes, more than that. This is the kitchen, and here is
right, yeah.
the space where I can put all my mess.
Messy area.
Like
It's a utility room just round the corner.
That's really good. My bedroom.
Wow.
Look at the door.
Big cross-laminated timber door. Oh, this is delightful. It's more of a man cave. This is a den. It's very enclosed, and that's beautiful. You've done this thing of downsizing to move into a one-bedroom home. Did you have to throw a lot of stuff away?
Yes, of course. I went often to the kringloop, we call the
recycling. Center. Yeah. Do you miss
Uh,
some of the things? Or?
No, I miss nothing.
Really?
Really, I miss nothing. I still think I have too much.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
I am a seasoned collector of things, and I find it very difficult to let go of stuff, which is very important to get let go, I know.
The secret is just to do it.
Is it?
The more you have, the more problems you have. You have to maintain everything, and you have to keep it clean, and I don't know, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I am really happy with less.
You know what I find absolutely inspirational about Jan? It's the fact that he has been brave enough to sacrifice all that stuff in his life. He's got rid of the paraphernalia, and in so doing, he has eliminated the quantity of possessions he had, and instead he sort of replaced it, if you like, with quality, the quality of his built environment, of his home. There's a lesson there for any of us approaching the third age about what matters.
Jan's pared back, serene existence is in contrast to where Pauline and Godfrey now find themselves. They sold their home a year ago, and since then they've been renting near the site.
As the crow flies, I can look out of the window and see directly to Graven Hill. It's as if I could skip across the rooftops and just land on the plot there, you know. So we're near, but yet so far. Yeah, frustrating.
Their house sale didn't raise enough capital to pay for their new home outright, so they've had to apply for a mortgage. But they've received only rejection from the lenders.
We were hoping to be in our new home within the first 6 months. We took out a tenancy for the first place, and I thought, this is much longer than we need, but hey, let's do it. And we've come to the end of a year. It's 12 months already.
While they wait for an offer, the high cost of renting is eating into their build budget.
It's cost us more than £20,000 in rent and storage and other accoutrements. I wish it hadn't happened. I wish it hadn't happened.
It is hard. It is hard. There have been times in the middle of the day and I just want to burst into tears.
I don't want to go into finances. It's very personal stuff, yeah.
They're at the mercy of an unsympathetic mortgage market. But they found a way to stop spending so much money on rent.
We're going to become property guardians, and that's emerged out of the blue. So we'll look after a 2-bedroom flat and ensure that it's secure and treat it like our own home for a minimal licence fee and 18 hours of voluntary work.
The latest temporary accommodation is a housing estate awaiting demolition in High Wycombe.
It's strange, juxtaposing where we lived and where we are now. It seems like a sort of steady sort of fall. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that everything goes all right from here on in. Yeah.
This is something of a sorry sight. I mean, effectively, Pauline and Godfrey are homeless. What they own is just some foundations in the ground. Nothing more. Because a mortgage broker or a computer just spits out the answer no. I mean, that's a horrible situation to be in, isn't it?
At Graven Hill in Oxfordshire, we're witnessing a self-build revolution.
Push the button, see what they do.
It's been over 3 years since these pioneers started building. But against the odds, they've transformed what was waste ground into a street of remarkable homes.
Look, don't get me wrong. Self-build brings with it tremendous risks and a great deal of pain and sometimes sadness along the way. But the rewards can be great.
Jack and Hannah couldn't afford to buy a house, but here on this street, they took the opportunity to build one.
Yay!
Architecture can improve your life. Sue, with a disability, felt trapped in her last home, but no longer.
It's given me a lot of freedom. I've a lot more confidence. I feel a lot healthier. So that makes a big difference.
To realise the homes they desired, everyone on this street has had to overcome obstacles. Pauline and Godfrey's is a financial one.
Yes.
After what's been months, they're still waiting for a mortgage offer while living on this estate as property guardians.
Ding, ding.
Who's that? Tell them I received nobody.
I'm compelled to disturb. This is a part of my property guardianship. We have to do some voluntary work, and I have chosen to do some directing.
However, Pauline's been forced to go back to work to improve their chances with the mortgage lenders, and now has a full-time job at a local university.
This job came at the perfect time, trying to sort out the mortgage. I'll have to work until I drop, but I'm taking each bit at a time, each day at a time. Let's see how we do.
Putting off retirement indefinitely is tough, but she's not alone on the street for having to make sacrifices.
Can you give me a hand, please, sweetie?
Yeah, sure.
On plot 6, Paul put his legal career on hold in order to build their hempcrete home.
If you just can you hang on to that for a second and pass that to me.
We've been living here for a month now, and it's home. It's already home.
However, over their 3 years of building, there were periods when Paul spent a long time away from his family.
For 5 months, we were living apart. That was the worst bit.
Yeah, that wasn't
compared
good
to
at all.
that. Now this is fantastic.
Yeah.
We see each other a lot more now.
Yeah, now it feels more like doing DIY rather than building a house.
Which will probably continue for years and years.
Yeah.
Clearly, self-build can place a lot of pressure on relationships.
People have told us how it's going to be so trying and we'll get divorced. And I think we always thought that that's
Who said that?
Everybody.
Did they?
I coped by not having time to really think about it. I'm just looking after the children and working. But afterwards, when it was over, then I had a bit of a breakdown, I think, then when I realised that actually it was so hard.
Yeah, that's a top tip. Try and be as close together for the build as you can.
Yes, that's a good one.
Next door on plot 5, James found himself building on his own after he broke up with his girlfriend.
The past 2 years, I have been through a lot. Obviously, breaking up with Shannon, I've really struggled.
James!
Hello!
Emotionally, I mean, you know, you were at a very vulnerable point. Has the project helped?
The project has helped.
Yeah.
Sort of realised I'm quite resilient, and
you are.
And if I hadn't done this, I would regret it for the rest of my life. So I'm really pleased I have.
This is going to cost me. This is going to cost me.
If you're building on your own, like Lynn on plot 2, it can be very stressful. She's endured more than her fair share of disaster.
The point is that the cantilever isn't cantilevering.
No, but whatever I do, it's going to cost more money, and it's going to cost more time, and it's going to delay things. And, you know, I'm not a big company, I'm just me. I just...
In addition to her structural disaster, she was forced to dig up what should have been the most beautiful polished concrete floor.
There's a big hole there, there's a big hole there. You know, there's 3 in there. There's a leak down there. Bloody nightmare. Is that slightly damp in there?
Yeah.
Another burst pipe. I'm going to have no floor left. Oops.
Lynn's taken many self-built body blows, but in the process learnt to be resilient. She's shown her realism, her creativity in the face of adversity, sacrificing even her concrete floor for a resin one.
It looks so good. It looks just so amazing. But what's even more amazing is seeing those horrible holes hidden. Only I need to know what's underneath all there. This has tested my determination and my resolve and my resilience to the absolute ends. And although the days were really, really dark, I had to just try and pick myself up because there's no point remaining in a heap on the floor. You do that and then you get up again.
I'm a half-full kind of guy, that my cup is always half full. But in the last few weeks, I've had that challenged. I've been really low and close to tears at times because I thought we'd be done and dusted now and in our home.
But without a mortgage, they can't afford the home to put on these foundations. Godfrey does occasionally visit their barren site, today erecting a structure to store garden equipment from a life before they embarked on what's becoming a downsizing disaster.
We're back to right up against the wall right now. If we don't get the mortgage, we'll have to consider selling the plot, which is a great shame because this plot is not just a plot. It has been made for our house and our dreams. It's all in there. It'd be devastating.
Oh, look, there's Godfrey. He's always hard to read his body language. Godfrey, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Are
Good
you?
to see you, yeah. I'm over the moon at the moment.
Are you?
Oh, yes.
Oh, because I was expecting, well, I was expecting the worst. Why are you over the moon?
Well, yesterday we finally got the paper offer for the mortgage company.
I can't believe
yes.
that.
Yeah.
After all this time.
After all this time. Well, I said I haven't breathed for a year. It's like, finally, I can breathe.
When I saw you here, I thought you'd come to say goodbye to the site.
No.
So you're coming to say hello again.
Hello again. Yeah.
Reacquaint yourself with it.
Reacquaint myself and be really excited about
That is
it.
such exciting news. Is it a 25-year mortgage? 30 year?
It's a 15-year mortgage.
15-year.
Yeah. We're hoping that ways will be found and we will pay up the capital long before the term finishes. I mean, Pauline doesn't plan to be working for the next 15 years. If we can help it.
Godfrey, I'm so pleased. No, really, really good.
It's great news. With finance, their downsizing dream is still very much alive. But because of the 18-month delay, the factory can no longer process their order. Although they have found a new factory that can.
This is your house.
This is our house.
This steelwork. It looks very chunky. Let's walk in. Let's go and have a look.
Their downsizing project is now in the hands of a family firm in Sussex, who specialise in a 3-stage modular construction method.
Stage 1, the chassis of the building.
4 steel frames form a well-insulated base on which their home will be built.
Stage 2, the construction. That's the walls and the glazing and the roof and the insulation and the plasterboard on the inside. It makes a very, very strong shape. Stage 3, the fit-out. The fettling and finishing of the building with the kitchen and the light switches and the bathroom. You can literally have it delivered in the morning and be having a shower that evening.
That sounds perfect to me.
And what about time?
We're looking at delivering in 9 weeks from now. The idea of constructing houses in a production line in a factory, time is absolutely of the essence. There's houses coming in behind Godfrey's and Pauline's, and there are houses ahead of them. So once it's in chain, if you know what I mean, the house behind it will push it through and the house in front will pull it.
I've never stopped believing in the project. I feel great joy to know that it's there, and I see our house beginning to take shape.
It's been most reassuring coming here today because, having concrete evidence, if you like, or steel evidence, we're seeing it, we're feeling it, we're smelling it. It's great. We're on the road.
I cannot remember how many years it is since I first met this bunch of self-builders. It's been so long. And in that time, of course, they've taken a field, turned it into a building site, built individual homes, and now, between them, have sort of stitched them together to build and make a street. Ah, that's quite splendid.
This has been a great opportunity, seized on by all 10 pioneers.
The big blue bookend of a house that starts the scheme, built by Terry and Olwyn, a sort of crystalline thing, one which, of course, has had a most fantastic regenerative effect on his health.
It was a project made in heaven for me. Has allowed us to just run wild with ideas. We would never be able to build this anywhere else. Just fantastic.
Next to it is sort of my favourite building here, Lynn's house, with that sort of hot tub roundel thing on the roof.
My house is very, very different. It is quirky, and I guess I'm kind of quirky too.
The whole thing reminds me of a sort of animal, like a pangolin.
Considering the average cost of a house on this street is £300,000, the pioneers have built homes with some considerable architectural merit. Like Chris and Roxy's flat-packed, bold black box home. Or James's brilliant barn-inspired home. Its shapes governed by a galvanised steel portal frame.
This is Jack and Hannah's house, grey with these beautiful caramel-coloured inserts of timber. A building designed without an architect that delivers fantastic thermal performance, wonderful spaces, and it's affordable. It's like, you can't have all of that, can you? But they have.
We were met with people thinking that we weren't going to be able to do it, and actually, you know, we have, and we're here, and we've got something very nice to show for it.
Paul and Blanca's contribution.
You see, at first glance, a bit of a monolith, but actually, the closer you come to this, the more you appreciate the detail, the curves, the craftsmanship, the beauty of the materials. It has real personality, this building.
It is amazing to live in a house where, you know, I look at the wall there and I think, I remember building that wall with my own two hands.
And Pauline and Godfrey's house, yet to actually prove itself on the street, but I think its scale is going to add some real variety here. And of course, it's a different approach.
Their journey follows the modular route, building off-site in a factory on the south coast. And their home is now evolving, having spent just 5 weeks on the production line. At this moment, the membrane is going on in preparation for cladding. The kitchen's being fitted. And the bathroom and windows are going in. The benefits of a production line are that skilled tradesmen can work alongside each other in the dry with specialist factory machines. It's all coordinated, but for it to work, it has to fit to a schedule. It has its limitations, but it is an efficient building method. Pauline and Godfrey's will be the only modular home on a street that's become a testbed for a great variety of self-built construction systems. Plots 1 and 2 used wood-chip blocks made from recycled pallets coated in cement, all stabilised with an infill of concrete poured on site.
Oh, I see. Oh!
Sean and Diana on plot 7 opted for wooden panels which were craned and slotted into position in a matter of days.
It's exciting and scary and all those things at the same time.
Building with an environmental ethos was central to Paul and Blanca's House of Hempcrete.
The greenest houses are always self-built, as Paul and Blanca have proved. You know, whether it's using clay plaster or cork insulation or some innovative new form of ventilation, self-builders are prepared to take the risk on the new, on the experimental. Unlike a developer who would never experiment and who would always play safe.
But by far, the most experimental construction system on the street is on plot 3. Chris and Roxy's flat pack home, made from over 380 plywood boxes bolted together.
We're actually fairly happy with how it's all gone together. I mean, the bolts have generally slid in very nicely and it's all come together to about, you know, 0.5 mil of tolerance, which is not bad. By making, you know, all the components at a human scale that people can manually lift, it means that there's an option for people now to really build their own house.
The potential for this clever system hasn't gone unnoticed on the street.
Yeah.
Pauline and Godfrey, before their home gets delivered, have commissioned a garden studio constructed using the same flat pack idea.
It very obviously is of a family with the black building down there.
Yeah, it's brilliant because we have a place, we have a little pied à terre.
Yeah, it's you looking at this and sort of cherry-picking the, you know, some of the nicer ideas that you think, oh, that would work.
Yeah,
that would
absolutely.
Absolutely.
But is it going to get stained, or do you leave it in the natural, or what are you going to do?
We're going to leave it natural.
Yeah.
We're going to let that just weather a bit, and that lovely
We love
sort
the
of grey.
natural touch, actually. And you get that wonderful silvery, greyish finish, yeah. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, what happens in it?
We are going to have a study in here. This is where I'm going to do lots of my writing and creative work. Really, that end of the building. This end of the building, Pauline is going to be creative doing something else.
Yes, I'm going to be totally zen in that part and have a bit of morning quiet and do some yoga stretches there.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You're welcome to join me.
Thank you. I may do that.
True to their word, it takes just 9 weeks for the factory to complete the construction of Pauline and Godfrey's modular house.
All right. Let me know when you're in line with the lorry. Bit more time.
A convoy of 5 articulated lorries under escort are transporting this abnormal load from Sussex to Oxfordshire, where a mighty crane is waiting, ready to lift and position these shrink-wrapped modules onto their foundations.
Oh my goodness. This feels so real, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it is real.
Whereas most of their neighbours have been slogging away building for years, Pauline and Godfrey's home, in an active construction theatre, will arrive and be bolted together in just a day.
It's like fast food, isn't it? Just suddenly comes. Instant gratification. But of course, as we know, behind the instant delivery, behind the boy in the bag, sudden arrival of this building, lies a whole trail, a whole history of anguish.
Here at last, been a long time coming, but it's here at last. Everything seems to be intact. Yep.
Yeah, got wires on one side. I'd want to do a thing. I only put 2 on it to keep you happy, Winkle.
These large wedges are roof sections. The building having been built in segments in order to pass under road bridges between the factory and the site.
I'll bring him down. Lowering off, John.
This is the only single-storey dwelling on the street, but these wedges will dramatically raise the ceiling heights.
It's quite something.
And in so doing, avoid any porter cabin comparisons.
So what's your job today? You have one?
My job today is to look on. With this, things come and they're done.
Yeah.
Everything. For me, it's been so fascinating. Besides satisfying, but fascinating.
Yeah.
Watching it come and
I bet.
Yeah.
And you don't have to lift timber and pour concrete yourself either?
That's just right for me.
Because you've got artist hands.
Well, that's it, you know.
This is where the beauty of modular comes into its own. Pauline and Godfrey are just happy spectators, watching their new home come into land on their plot.
What I find remarkable is that it's taken you the longest of anybody to get going, you know what I mean, given all the issues and the problems you have.
I don't need reminding
No,
of that.
I'm not reminding. But no, what's ironic is that you get the thing delivered more quickly. I mean, this afternoon, you and Pauline will have semblance of a home here.
Indeed. But you know something?
Magnificent.
I never once thought that you'd see the back of me. Never once. I always believed.
What was this morning a bare plot is, in the space of just hours, being transformed into a home. And in the process, attracting a growing audience.
Quite remarkable, isn't it? They've all turned out, all of the builders on this street, to watch this house going up. They've all wanted for so long to see Pauline and Godfrey build a house. That's kind of rather special for them. They're all willing this on. They all want it to happen. In a way, I suppose that's not surprising, is it? Because it's not a competition, this. This is an entire community building itself. And they know that for a piece to fail, it means the entire street sort of fails a bit. This is important.
It's been nearly 2 years since Pauline and Godfrey started their downsizing odyssey. However, by standing firm in their faith, miraculously, Plot 9 is now occupied.
Oh, look at that. From their site to finished house in 3 weeks. Mind you, it is cheeky, isn't it? This way that the house pushes forward more than any other on the street, makes up for its low height. It's an assertive little wedge. Actually, of course, it's a double wedgie. Oh, Godfrey's on the piano. That's a lovely sound. Hey, hello. You're at home. Well done, okay. What a joyful moment this is.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you both, yeah. Oh, what a place. This all took 3 weeks.
Yes.
Yes.
This is unheard of. I mean, this is incredible. It's actually much bigger inside than you are led to believe as you approach it.
We've got a TARDIS effect happening here.
I was expecting to come in and somehow feel like I was in a Portakabin kind of. I mean, look at the thickness of the walls. You know, there's a sense of mass and solidity.
Solidity, yeah.
It's chunky.
How long have you been here?
1 night, exactly.
1 night? How was your 1 night? How was waking up here?
It was blissful.
Brilliant.
It was very peaceful overnight.
Yeah.
Wonderful to see the sun coming up.
Well, I can't wait to see this place.
Well,
I really can't.
Come through, come
Show
through.
you.
Welcome.
Through a rather splendid set of sliding doors. Beautiful, generous room, isn't it?
Thank you. Yes, it is.
Big, tall, high. And the skylight, of course, only adds to that, just leads the eye to infinity. As does that triangular view out there.
Oh, I love
There's
those
lots
windows.
of ways in which it just sort of is, it's made to feel brighter and lighter.
Yes.
Yes.
I have to slightly kick myself looking at this room. So there are 3 volumes here. I mean, I saw them being craned in. But the point is that the floor, of course, is absolutely contiguous. There is no join.
No.
So as a result, the whole place breathes. Is it the kitchen through here, yeah?
Yes, that's right.
Great. This is, it's very luxy. Is this marble?
It's a composite,
Okay.
actually, which is quite hard wearing.
Very nicely done. I do like the fact that you can stand at the sink and enjoy that view.
That's right.
It's quite meditative in a way, isn't it? You know, it's a relaxing thing to do first thing in the morning or in the evening.
Gives you another thing too, doesn't it? Which is a bit of supervision over the street. A bit of, you know, you're able to sort of just see what's going on. Right, I'm going this way to look at the pod. Is that what you call it?
Garden studio?
I think studio is a better word
Yes.
for it. It has the same DNA as Chris and Roxy's house because it was built from leftovers by their architect, wasn't
That's
it?
right.
I'm very heartened by the fact that you've been able to kind of borrow an idea, that there's been a bit of cross-fertilisation between the buildings.
Yeah, cross-fertilisation.
Bit of self-seeding going on.
Yeah. So how many bedrooms you got here?
2 bedrooms.
Enough for you and a guest, I guess, or
I
guests?
think guest or guest. It's a flexible space.
Yeah. This way?
This way, into the master bedroom.
There's a dressing room. And pocket doors everywhere in this house. Means that the small spaces are really usable. That's good. for yoga, isn't it, this pavilion? Yeah? I'm looking forward to this. Oh. Oh, I see.
Yeah. It's pretty much a storage space.
You're not minimalists, are you, really?
We are at heart.
It's an ongoing process.
Yeah. We've got rid of a lot of stuff, believe it or not. But this is still there.
Well, and then you put it in here.
Yeah.
So this is work in progress.
Very much so. We've had to ditch things as we've gone along. And we still need to continue that process.
You do. You really do.
They've spent £60,000 more than they'd hoped to, mainly due to the costs incurred with all their delays.
So how much did it, in the end, cost you all this?
I think the total is around £280,000.
Including the plot thing, isn't
That's
it?
right, yeah.
That's remarkable. It must feel triumphant, doesn't it?
It feels extraordinary. You know, in a quiet moment, you know, you sit down and think, we've actually done it.
I see it as the triumph of two people over the mortgage market. As much as anything else.
That is part of the story, indeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you have the mortgage, how are you going to pay it back?
Now I'm happily retired. I've got my state pension now.
And you got a job?
I've got a job at a university in Oxford. Actually, I've just got another job there, so...
Promotion.
Things are working out.
There have been times when it's kind of, everything's been going the wrong way.
The wrong way.
Yes.
And now, curiously, the stars are aligning.
Yes.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Good.
Yeah. This house encapsulates us. It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah.
It's what we needed at this time.
Yeah.
And in this way.
Yeah.
That's great. It's great that this building's landed here. It's landed to take its place in the street of other buildings, just as Pauline and Godfrey have arrived now to take their place in the community here. Though it's a funny word, that community, isn't it? I'm reminded of something Godfrey said to me, that community doesn't happen when you bring a bunch of like-minded people together who all share the same values. That's ghettoization, really. No, I mean, community happens when you bring people together with different values and opinions, who don't share the same worldview, but who tolerate and come to understand each other through the process of living together. Like all the architecture on this street, what binds these houses together is not their similarity, but their diversity.
The latest residents on the street have invited their neighbours to come together to celebrate what's been achieved here.
Oh.
And Godfrey's composed a song to mark the event.
Here at last, been a long time coming, but it's here at last.
There is no street like this in the rest of the country, and very few streets like it in the world.
Mm-hmm.
We've achieved something quite extraordinary, all of us.
Thank you. That's it.
Being part of this community here is fantastic. We've all become friends in one way or another. We've all helped each other out, and it's made some bonding. So this has been a fantastic opportunity.
The idea of building a house was always a dream. It has been hard and it has taken a lot longer than we thought it would, but we've got something amazing out of it. I'm so glad we've done it.
It was a great idea. It was really, really worthwhile. I think there should be so much more opportunity for people to do this. I think we're all a little bit similar in we're all a little bit eccentric, but we're all a bit eccentric in different ways. It's just a really nice community, I think.
We're very proud to be part of it.
I think that this street is absolutely amazing. None of us knew each other, but throughout the process, we've got to know each other. We've all faced problems of a different kind, and so I really am proud to be in this street, living with these people. I think it's an amazing community. It's just a dream to live here.
Well, I've been following these plucky pioneers for about 4 years now, and I have to say, self-build is difficult. It can be fraught and painful. It can take a long time. But at the same time, it can also be empowering. It can change people's lives. And every self-builder I've ever met has come out of the process a slightly different person, perhaps with a different future before them as well, as these guys are. You know, they've seized an opportunity here. They have built their houses each according to their needs, and in so doing, they've also, amazingly, built a rather quirky, beautiful street. I love it. I actually think self-build is for everybody, and I think we should do more of it.